Of these pieces, one of them is about a hearing, the result of heavy-duty noise.
I got it.
Sound check.
Sound check.
This gentleman's got it. I'm sorry, you were second. You were second. Okay. Third question.
Bill Ward sings what song on the Technical Ecstasy album? Ooh, that was fast.
That was fast.
She didn't finish.
Wow.
All right.
Quick draw.
Which, by the way, is one of the best songs.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
think so. Then swinging the chain.
Swinging the chain, yeah.
Okay.
By the way, just so you all know, on the trivia on Swinging the Chain, earlier we were talking to Jeff in the restaurant, and Walter, Jeff's over there in the corner, up against the door, and we were talking about zoot suits. Now, zoot suits was a fashion that was made in America, but in England we had what we call teddy boys, long jackets. You'll see that on the Beatles albums. You'll see a lot of long jackets. I'm even wearing one tonight. My brother was a teddy boy, and they would carry chains. The chains were not for fashion. Chains were for something else on Saturday nights. And these guys actually used these chains, and I saw it with my own two eyes. They wore the zoot suits. We were in the studio at Mono Valley in Wales, which is where we used to do a lot of our rehearsals, and we were working up Swinging the Chain, and my brother walked in. My brother was my assistant back then in those days, and he walked in, and they'd all come back from the pub, so they were all drunk, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, pitch black in the middle of the countryside, and my brother came walking in, and as soon as he heard that, as soon as he heard that downbeat, he came in and he just he was walking hip slick and cool in there, man. And he says to me, "Swinging the chain, brother." That's where that came from. And you know what? That's I don't think anybody else knows that except everybody in this room.
Wikipedia.
Okay.
You didn't know that, did you?
No. Okay. How many demons has Bill spotted in Hello, I Don't Think We've Met Yet?
There's 3.
No.
3?
No.
1.
No.
7.
8.
No.
8.
No.
6. None.
6.
Oh.
Can I show them the ones that I've noted every time
I
you
saw
play?
5.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
1. Right here. Right here.
God, Corey.
2.
Oh, yeah.
3. 4. 5. 6.
Oh, okay, 6. It's also 5 for you.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Okay, go ahead.
Bill Ward sings what song on the Never Say Die album?
It's our, swinging the chain.
Swinging the chain.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, swinging the chain.
Right on.
Okay. In what year did Bill Ward get inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame?
1996.
No.
99.
No.
89.
No.
98.
No.
92?
Do you know Bill? You don't know what
No,
year?
I don't. No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's like, 2005 or 6.
Somebody said it was back there.
Somebody said 6.
The question, a better question possibly, not to take away anything from the questions, but was how many times we were inducted, how many times we were nominated, so that would be got no
Or
idea.
what year did they go into the English rock
Yeah,
and
with
roll?
UK.
Okay, so you were right, 2006. What year did they go into the English Hall of Fame?
The year before, because England, the year after, because America beat England in the induction, and it was with Pink Floyd and
Pink Floyd, that's right. And we had, that was a great night. We had
Stevie Winwood, Pink Floyd,
Mitch
Pete
was there,
Townsend,
Pete Townsend was there,
Mitch Mitchell was there,
Mitch,
jammed
yeah,
with
Mitch
Buddy Mile,
Buddy guy?
No, he jammed with Stevie Winwood and Mitch Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitch, yeah, we saw Mitch, and that was the, and I met Mitch, and he's such a gentleman, you know, and he's coming from such a strong place. One of the great jazz and rock drummers in the 60s, played with a lot of people, I might add. And then, of course, he played with Jimmy, and then the rest is on fire after that, you know. But it was an absolute honour meeting him, and being able to shake hands with a musician that was part of an absolute legend for us all, you know, all along the Watchtower. When Jimmy made that his own, no disrespect to Bob, but you know, I thought that was absolutely incredible what they did. I thought that was just great. I loved the Jimi Hendrix experience and Jimi Hendrix. And so we met some fabulous people that night. There were some great bands. And Pete Townsend, scholar, gentleman, musician, great, beautiful guy. Ray Davis was there, right? No? Yeah. Dave Davis was there. Dave was sitting right in front of me before, and that was before Dave passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Dave passed away about a year after that. So I think it was that. Yeah. Yeah. And we always credit Dave Davis. When we heard You Really Got Me, the raucous sound for the amp, little amp, and I think that they'd actually tore the speaker, and it'd have a distortion. We hadn't heard anything like it in England. Nobody had heard anything like it in rock and roll. And it's just like, my God, and we all stood up and went, my God. You know, I know I did. I went, what the hell's that? And I wanted, give me more of that. It was infectious. It's like, I don't know what it is, but I really like it. It got to the blood, you know.
But Black Sabbath upped the ante.
Upped it a little bit.
They
Yeah.
did it much better.
But if it hadn't been for Dave and one or two other people that came before us, I don't think we would have been.
Yep.
We owe a lot to some beautiful musicians. I'm privileged and honoured that I would meet them. You know, met Townsend. You know, in the Who, man.
Yeah.
You know, all the beauty of his guitar playing and everything, and it's just so. It's fantastic. I'm sorry, I know we're interrupting the questions.
Oh no, not at all.
From minutes of trivia. Where is he with their questions anyway? Where are you? You're over there. I can see you. So we're doing okay on these questions, yeah?
That's too easy.
What is my name or something?
Really.
So, what is the name of Bill Ward's monthly internet-based radio show?
Rock 50.
Yeah, got it, that's
Now
it.
you gotta give your second
I
buzzer
think
to
people should
someone
only
else.
get to answer once and get it right. And what about these prizes? Aren't you gonna prize them?
Yeah,
So
but
where-
are we allowed to give them?
Yeah.
Where are they?
I need a prize.
Oh, should we? Okay. Does anybody know, well, I'm sure everybody, or a lot of people know, Bill Ward's middle name?
Oh, God, I just looked that up.
Come on.
Say it.
Williams.
Theodore?
His middle name Williams?
Close.
Close.
It's kind of close.
Close.
His middle name. Well, it's Thomas.
It is.
Thomas. I was thinking his name is Thomas William. It's William Thomas.
Yeah, well, it's- and it's Welsh. We have we're from a Welsh family that moved from the Highlands after the Romans came. We all went to Wales, and then we all slowly moved back in the Middle Ages, back into the Midlands.
So what was it we didn't hear?
Sorry,
What was Thomas?
William Thomas. William Thomas.
Good job.
Right.
Where in
Damn them
England?
Romans.
Where in England was Bill Ward born?
Birmingham.
And what
Whoa.
year?
1948. 48. You're a year,
Yeah,
a year away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You got
47.
one part of
You were
that,
born in
and then
48.
you got the other part, so you're
Yeah.
gonna have to cut it down the middle.
You know why you said Aston? You said Aston
I said
for
Aston.
a reason, yeah?
Of course. Yeah. How many people know the reason?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Because in Aston, Aston is the jewel of the city. That's what we were taught when we were growing up. Aston got hit real hard during World War II. It was completely demolished by the bombings. It's the centre where it's a huge community. We have all walks of life, all races. They're all in Aston. And when I was a kid, I remember listening to Irish folk music on the corner. You could walk down the street and listen to black music, rhythms. You could listen to anything, Indian music. You know, we had a lot of in the Second World War. You know, a lot of the men that fought the Indian regiments, they were part of the Queen's own, and so they came to England for respite and for help, and so that's why. And they brought all their curry with them as well, which I've been eating since I was a child. So you know, it doesn't be too bad. But that's the history there. So that's what Aston. If you can imagine that landscape, and the landscape I grew up on as a child was bomb craters, bomb buildings, and they didn't really start knocking down the bomb buildings till I was 6 or 7 years old. Our house was supported by these huge beams that were stuck into where the factory once was that blew up next to our house, and it held the side of the house up. And so I'm really proud of that. We were talking about pride somewhere, and I'm very proud that we lived there, you know, and we came through, and we came through whatever those things. But the reason why I say Aston is because the other guys were all born in Aston as well. Ozzy was born just slightly across the street, so I'm not going to argue. He was in Witten, and if you crossed over the street, you'd be in Aston. So you know what? So as far as I'm concerned, we all came from Aston, and we all grew up in Aston, and we all understood Astonian. We all taught the same language. In the outer city, which was Birmingham, we really, you know, when you're in, it's like being in the Bronx, or it's like being in Brooklyn, and you're brought up in Brooklyn, and you don't even know where Manhattan is. So,
Okay, next question. How many pieces displayed
20.
Bill featured in? And you have 10 seconds.
2.
3.
4.
1. 6.
What was 1, 2?
7.
3.
3.
All of them? All of them.
4. Making flowers.
6. Isn't that one too?
Indestructible youth. That's the backward Bill.
oh, come on, these are trick questions, these, aren't they?
That's We focus, we persevere. In
Yeah.
solidarity.
And that
You're right.
Solidarity, I mean, solidarity.
Yeah. So 4. Okay. Next question.
I'm glad we got through that one.
Anybody say 4? I don't think anyone said 4.
Yeah, 4, yeah.
There you go. You got it.
I'm with him.
What is the name of Bill Ward's first solo album?
Ward 1.
I was not.
Can't see that far.
Oh, no, it's open now. All my questions are done.
What's the name of the second album?
I do have one question that I'll bet Bill doesn't know. But we, at some point, we had, how many, okay. The release has a certain number of pieces in it. How many final pieces did we create, some of which were not featured in the final collection? You can take guesses because you're not gonna
20.
know. Right. 20. How'd you know? All right, thank you, everybody. There were five pieces that we did not feature when we released. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was fun.
That's funny.
So, now we're all a bit loosened up. Does anybody have, and I don't mind, where we go. I have to stay away from some of the political questions, especially about current events with Black Sabbath. But if there's anything else, anything at all that you want to ask about, you can talk about artwork, drums, drumming, anything at all that might come to mind.
Who are your favorite swing artists?
Swing.
Swing artists.
The most influential would have been Gene Krupa and his orchestra, Glenn Miller at the time. My mother and father listened to all the GI music when the GIs, thank God, finally came to Great Britain in 1943, I think it was. Could be wrong on that, I'm not sure. But yeah, we were brought up on GI big band music, and that's all I could hear when I was a kid. Ted Heath had a pretty good band in England, but they didn't swing, like how Basie swings. I mean, that's such a huge orchestra, and so all of that is influential. And again, remember what I just said, that huge sound that Basie had, and that's where I like to go with Tony. Tony builds a wall of sound, and I play orchestrationally. I'm not a drummer. I don't play notes. It took me a painful while to learn that, because I was always trying to figure out what drummers play, and I was always going, I can't play that. And all these other guys are going. I can do it now, but couldn't do it then. And but what I do is I play huge sweeps. So if Tony goes, then I just go. I jump in with him.
Yeah.
And Geezer will play these huge orchestrational donut parts. They have no mercy. They're huge, and it all comes from that, and it's the same with Beethoven. It's the same influences, these huge orchestrational pieces, the classics. We all love the classics, and so, yeah.
Do you have a favorite drummer, a new
Oh,
up
I've
and
got so many
coming?
drummers. Oh, so many drummers. I have so many favourites. Probably gonna miss a few on the list there. First guy I'll mention is Dave Lombardo. Dave, why Dave? Because he's got some of the best legs, double bass drum work in the world. His most well-known band is Slayer.
He has an animal. He's like,
Yeah, he's an animal. And Dave's all over the place, We have a lot of things in common. The way that we work, the way that we have a very good relationship. My favourite speed metal drummer is Gene Hoglan.
Wow.
And Gene is a good friend. And I watch Hoglan play, and I don't know where he got his legs from. I think he was somebody come from space. I think this is the story. From here on in, this is the story.
And
Okay.
he wears weights.
And he wears
He wears weights on his ankles.
on his way. Does he really?
Yeah.
You know what? I've seen him play so many bloody times. I've never even seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wears weights on his ankles and plays in boots that he don't even lace up and tie.
You want to come over here?
That's funny.
So, thank you. No. Obviously a Hogman fan. I just love the guy to death. And I say to him, I think he's got the best legs. There are some other guys, Dimmu, Bouger, there's some good players, some double bass drum players, and I'm just like, I don't know where you got it from. I just don't know how you did it. But when I listen to Gene, his consistency, his timing is absolutely perfect. It's like listening to a machine. And You know, the reason why I say that out there, because his nickname, he's got some nicknames that come close to metronome type names, things like that. He's such a gentleman. He's such a beautiful man, and he sits behind and he performs with ease. Strapping young lad, I thought were just like unbelievable band. You know, and the things that he's done with Fear Factory and a lot of other bands, man.
The New Testament.
Yeah, yes. So Hogland we were with Gene only February the 18th. No, I got it.
January 23rd.
January 23rd. Yes, standing right with Gene. Yeah.
We watched Gene play.
We watched Gene play, standing right behind him. And where Jeffy's right now, that was where Gene is, and I was standing right behind Gene. You know, so there's just, I'm in awe of these people. Johnny Kelly, Type O Negative, Jody Jorgensen, Slipknot. Will you help me out?
Bran.
Mastodon. Oh, Bran. I mean, when I heard that guy play, man, I just sat down and I just listened to him, and it reminds me of me. He's so orchestrated. He'll go anywhere. He loves timpani. He'll put timpani in wherever he feels like it, and then he'll turn it upside down and just put it into a real tight jazz swing thing. Mastodon are killing it now. Mastodon are one of the great metal bands of today, in my opinion. So you know, Bran and love the guys in Megadeth, Lars. You know, Lars, Eric Singer. I mean, all these guys, you know, Eric, because of what he was performing, what he was performing and the way he was performing it with two bass drums a number of years ago. I mean, Eric, we mentioned Ward 1 along the way. On Mobile Shooting Gallery, that's Eric Singer playing drums. And he's playing double bass drums, you know, all the stuff, man. You know, so, no, so many.
When you play with another drummer,
Yes,
do you direct them at all?
sometimes. Sometimes it depends. Depends what we're looking for. If I've written something, and then I'll, you know, yes, I do. Yeah. And but one of the most marvelous things that ever happened to me is I stopped competing. And because when I was in competition, I was always angry and I was never satisfied. So years and years and years and years ago, I stopped competing. And I've never had so many friends as for drummers in my life. And I no longer have to compare myself with them or compare my insides with their outsides or anything like that anymore. I'm free. And I was always jealous of what Buddy Rich could do and I couldn't. And I lived like that in secret for a long, long time. Lived in secret all the way through the Sabbath years. You know, and one or two other people as well, but I'm not going to mention their names, just in case we have a camera roll. But I did. It was very painful, and you know, but the competitive young man, the 18-year-old, you know, we all bounced off each other. I would sit in and jam with Bonzo. You know, this is before Zeppelin, this is before Black Sabbath. And me and John would sit in a room and we'd bounce off each other. We were in different bands then. But I'd watch what he was doing, getting his chops, and I'd want to get some of my stuff, you know. And everything was about, you know, young men competing, which is, I think, is pretty natural. But as time has gone on and I fell into the freedom of no competition. And I'll tell you where the freedom came from. I was trying to play Mobile Shooting Gallery myself. And it requires a lot of fast bass drum work. I was very newly sober when we did this. I was only a few years sober, and I'd ruined my body, you know, physically with the last years of the drinking. And I was trying to play the drums to Mobile Shooting Gallery. I knew what I wanted to play. I could hear it, but I couldn't play it physically. I wasn't at that place yet. So I called Eric. Eric was a close friend. Can you come in and play it? He went, well, why are you playing it? You know, because he's a fan, you know, Eric really likes my playing. He said, Eric, when you're not playing it, I said, I don't want to play it, I can't play it. I said, I can't play it, Eric. And that's when I knew I'd changed into something else. And I said, I can't play this, but you can play it a damn sight better than I can play it. And he did. And that was the crossover. So he was learning, that was the learning of a very good lesson. And I feel like as a drummer now, I've been able to, in my own space and in my own time, I feel like I've been able to grow and improve. If you had all been at Prague, when was last tour, Walt? 05. If you had all been in Prague, I wish you had been, all of you, I'd have taken you there with me. That would have backed up my last statement about I feel like I've improved, because I was playing stuff that was just coming out. It didn't matter anymore. It didn't matter. Like there was someone I was talking to earlier where we were talking about we reach a point where it doesn't matter because we are enjoying life to the full and we're getting older, and so it's just playing. Playing doesn't, you know. I just wanted to be there with the audience, and Tony was throwing me all kinds of zingers, and I was picking every single one of them up and moving it around inside things like Iron Man. You know, so we're playing Iron Man and he'd throw me something across, grab it. We play on stage, we play and we play. So it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And so I felt very, very good when we played at Prague and Boston and New York and all the other places that we played. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
There was a TV show from, I think you guys played, Sabbath played in Paris in like 70. Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, we were, I remember going to the jazz clubs when we were in Paris. The French love jazz, man, you know, and so I like to hang out, you know, and back in those days I used to smoke those black long cigars or whatever, you know, 22 man, you know, and but the gig was we were showing up. They put us in front of the TV screens.
Did you do any like run-throughs, like for the cameras?
No, I think we probably went through one time. We didn't even get through halfway through.
Right.
And it's like, okay, we shoot now. We shoot now. It's like so, but we were so used to being pushed around.
Right.
So because we were going inside all kinds of TV shows.
Right.
And so we were used to that being. Now we're moving on. Where are we going to? Berlin. Okay, hold on.
Right.
You know. So that was pretty normal. That's a normal pace back then.
What's it like doing your first album in 8 hours?
It was a lot of fun. It was fantastic, actually. But you know what, I have to say that you know, we rehearsed that album for nearly 2 years before we played it. So the trick is, I don't think we've ever been recorded properly. Am I talking too much about Black Sabbath? Yeah, I just want to make sure. We've never been recorded properly, in my opinion. And so, much love to the guys that did get us. I think the best way to capture Black Sabbath is to recognise that they can't be captured. But you have to imagine getting a great big lasso, put it around the band, pulling them in like that, and that's your closest. That's probably going to be your best bet at getting them to get that sound sonically. But we went in there raw, and we went in there and we were working with I think 8 tracks. I think they bounced my drums down to 2 tracks. So you know, we were really, you know, Roger Bain and thank you. I was looking for you then. So and Roger Bain and Tom Allen did an unbelievable job.
Yes, they did. And Paranoid wasn't, it was like 24 hours or something like that, you had studio times?
I think they give us about 3 days. I think.
3 days? Okay.
On Paranoid, yeah. Something like that. And I think they give us about 5 days on Masters of Reality.
And Tony had to sit down at the last minute to put Paranoid together for to fill up the track
Well,
side.
what we did, we wanted, they wanted a single, you know, believe it or not. And it seems odd because we were so underground.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but it came out beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. We went down, we had lunch at the pub, you know, we came back, hour break, everything was on the clock. And Tony had been writing in the studio. And he had the first part, and we immediately, you know, this band was so tight, we walked around like that. I mean, really, we'd been living together for so long, so we intuitively knew that, oh,